We're back. We're catching up. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I am Linda. That is Abby. We are doing all things 90 Day, The Last Resort. We are covering Season 3, Episode 6, Fall on Your Sword. There was a lot going on. Outdoorsy stuff, fights, more fights, but we're starting to get to the root of all things. And that being said, I just want to address some things from last episode.
Yes.
So I offended Russ last episode, and he made it very clear to me today that he is not impressed with me. So I'll go ahead and read what he said. He said, "Okay, Linda, you're a grown woman mocking my sex life and a body shot. Running your mouth like that doesn't hide the fact that you're just a bitter spectator." Now, those of you guys that know me know that I'm one of the first people that interviewed Russ and Powell on the very first season of AfterBuzz TV. I really hold no ill will towards you, Russ. What I do want to say is that the person that showed up day one, season 1 for you, is a different person that's shown up in season 3 here on The Last Resort. And I am just wondering what happened. So if me calling you out seemed a little rough, so be it. But you have to be very direct and open and honest in order to have growth in life. And so if that is how you're portrayed, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe my words came out too strong, but at the end of the day, if you grow from it, then that's it. But I can promise you this, I'm not bitter. I'm not a bitter spectator. I'm giving my opinion, and I think that that's okay to do because that's what I'm seeing. And if it's different, then let's respond to that, and let's talk about how you've changed your ways and you and your wife are supporting each other equally. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is the second time that we're getting some kind of comment about us commenting on 90 Day Fiancé. And I responded to it very nicely last time. But this time I want to say, we are who makes your world go round. No, you wouldn't have that blue check beside your name off the strength of Russ. There's nothing that you've done in your life that deserves that apart from the fact that you're on TV and people talk about you. People like us talk about you. So show some respect for the people who gave you that blue check.
Woof. And there it is. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to respond, then please do. But I'm not taking it personally, and neither should you. If you can't take some constructive feedback wrapped in some harsh rapping, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but I'm just responding to what I'm seeing. That being said, Sarper and Guillermo are about to fight physically, and the person that stopped them that I was surprised by was Sumit. Sumit stops them, says, "Hey, let's not do this. Hey, la, la, la." I want to stop and say, Becca says, "Abby, you look fabulous. Russ is a spectator for life. Ask Pal."
Oh, thank you. Give me one margarita.
So Sumit stops the fight, and in order for Sarper to really reel in his alpha male feelings, he hugs Sumit. And then what was interesting to me, Abby, is that he apologizes to Sumit for hugging him. And I thought that that was a really great moment to really talk about men and their feelings and
Mm-hmm.
feelings, especially when they identify as alpha males. It's okay to express your feelings, and it's okay to hold on to someone who's helping you through an emotional time. And if that other someone is a male, then that's okay. That just tells me that you're in tune with your feelings. And so I don't feel like you should have to apologize for that, because there's nothing wrong with it. And I wish more men would be in tune with their feelings, because expressing your feelings, especially your emotional feelings, verbally is better than expressing them physically in a negative way, which you men tend to do. And we're seeing a rash of it in 2026. And I think a lot of you just need to go to therapy and get in tune with your feelings, and go ahead and get a hug from your friend and tell them how you're feeling.
I interpreted his apology a little bit differently. I thought that it was, oh, I need this hug right now for me. And then somewhere along the line, he was like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't check to make sure it's okay with him. Is this like, I'm sorry, is this okay with you? I didn't think of it as like he's apologizing for having feelings. I thought he was like basically asking for consent, but saying like, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you for consent. Is this okay? Is this hug okay with you? But either interpretation, I think is fantastic. Sarper, I'm just loving Sarper.
100%. Either way, whatever it was, okay, good. Hey, Melody. So she says, bro, Russ is crazy for that. Sarper, again, in tune with whatever it is that he's in tune with, did the work, but he is saying about his own wife that what Shekinah's words sounded awful. Let me start again. Shekinah's words sounded awful, but he knows her, he feels, and she didn't mean it how it came out, so he's going to stand by her. What were your thoughts on that, Abby?
I think I know what he's saying, and I talked about it more last week, you guys, or last episode that we reviewed. I think it's something that she's heard people say and does not realize the exact impact of it. I'm not excusing her. I'm not excusing her, but I think the circles she's around say things like that, and she's not realizing the true impact and origin of it. Basically, I'm calling her ignorant.
There's an impact, and the whole immigrant group is talking about it. So Guillermo goes back inside, and he's mad. And he's like, we're all immigrants, and those of us that aren't immigrants are married to immigrants. And then outside, Shekinah is continuing to play victim, saying that Thais attacked her, and she didn't mean it in the way that it sounded. And then, you know how people say, I have a Black friend, I have an Asian friend, that thing you hear. She goes on to say that her husband is an immigrant and her baby daddy is also an immigrant, and therefore what? Because I can't put two and two and get four. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So what's the conclusion of that?
She's clearly not very front lobe developed. So I think that's what we're finding here. And apart from not being front lobe developed, she's defensive about it. It's kind of rare that you find someone who is unintelligent that recognizes that they're unintelligent.
I mean, because she goes on to say that she's not saying it in a mean way to all immigrants, just to Thais. And I'm sorry, but racism doesn't go in a small little circle that you decide that you're only specifically talking about this person. That's not how it works.
It does not work that way.
It just does not. So,
but I think that Sarper is doing the right thing to bide his time, and he would be the only person out of the people that we're looking at that may be able to reach her. Everybody else she's going to be defensive with.
Agreed. Jenny and Sumit are not impressed with it at all. Jenny says we didn't fly all the way from India for this BS, and I have to tend to agree with her. Olivia, hey girl, hey, do you want to address this? Hey, don't have to answer this minute, but are you both not reviewing the regular 90-day anymore season with Mito, Aisha, and Mallory? We are covering it. Life has been lifing. Red carpet stuff, World Cup stuff, day job stuff. So we're going to be back at it. We cover 90 Day Fiancé, the regular one, on Fridays. So come join us on Fridays. And we are catching up as much as we can this week. So, pay attention to your alerts, turn your alerts on, because we might be here more often than you think this week. Okay, so Shekinah's playing the victim, said that she was attacked by Thais, and Guillermo's not having it. Guillermo's like, because of immigrants, you guys have rice. And I died of laughter.
I was surprised that rice was his go-to.
Right. And then they did a thing that you guys, as you know, back in, I think it was like 2018. And I know it was 2018 because I couldn't get enough. I got enough of it, is what I'm trying to say. But that, listen, Linda, honey, listen. Because my name is Linda, I got that for like a year. And I feel like I'm already sweating because it was just too much for me. But that's what they started doing. And I laughed. I was able to laugh because it's that many years later. But that definitely was a viral moment for that little kid calling his mom by his first name. So that being said, what I thought was interesting was Cara and Guillermo bonded over their anger towards Shekinah. And, Cara's like, I was ready to fight a bee. And this brought them together. And Cara tried to explain to Guillermo how the fundamentals they align on. And she was trying to remind him that, hey, there's a reason why we got together. There are reasons why we had a child together. The fundamentals we agree on. But he was not trying to hear any of that at all. Any thoughts on that, Abby?
She's trying. I feel like she's putting her best foot forward, but he isn't interested. He's just not interested.
Mm-hmm. It's sad because you can see that she's still really trying.
Mm-hmm.
The group wants Cara and Guillermo to get together. They want them to kiss. Guillermo is really against it in the beginning, so he kisses her cheek. We know last week he kissed her hand. But then they continue to chant, kiss. And I think that he finally gave in to the group pressure. So he pulled Cara in close. He kissed her. The kiss was hot. Cara even said that that's never been their problem, being sexually compatible. That's never been their problem. The whole group is turned on by their kiss. And Carl talks about how, when you're with someone and you've gone through some things with them, yes, they feel like home. You just have to see if that home is a toxic home or not.
Mm-hmm.
Are the bricks falling and they can be repaired, or is it just a rubble that, some crazy thing hit it and now it can't be fixed because it's just a bunch of broken rocks? You have to decide that, and only you and your partner are going to know. Only you and your partner are going to know. So yes, it might feel like home, but is it the right home for you? Maybe it's time to sell and buy a new place.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, she is the ultimate optimist and says it's a start. Ziad comes over, and we're starting to see a lot more of Ziad's personality. And I equate Ziad and Cara very similar. Ziad is actually very positive thinking and supportive in his words. And so he came over to Guillermo and gave him a hug and said, I'm proud of you. I want this to work out for you. And being Euro, is not afraid of showing affection to another man, kissed him on the head, and it's like, I'm proud of you. The Americans to see this, because there's a lot of that in the world. It doesn't have to be all aggro, ooh, hide your feelings, because it tends to not be healthy.
Right. Doesn't need to be no homo, pause, none of that. You can just hug and kiss freely.
That part. Sumit is asked if he's drunk. He's not. So Jenny says he might get a little jiggy with it because he didn't get drunk at the club or the bar. Jenny is like just observing all of it. So she, at the end of the day, as they're leaving, thinks that the whole group is just a bunch of crazy people. And we know that Jenny's like the oldest in the group. And, she's not used to all this drama anymore, but I think her little commentary is hilarious. They all get into their ride shares back home. Patrick starts talking about Shekinah. And, I feel like Abby, he tends to do that. Everything is like settled. People are wrapping it up. And then he tries to stir the pot. Is that a vibe that you get as well?
That is a vibe that I get. I mean, there's been a couple of times now that we saw that he's escalated situations, most notably when Guillermo was being asked about his feelings and how things are going. He immediately turned the conversation to, you could get half of her earnings from that website. Like, he tends to be a lot more on the negative side and he's not trying to mend relationships.
Agreed. Olivia says Patrick and Shekinah are similar, just in opposite ways. That's a really
I
interesting point.
Very astute, and I agree. I agree very much, except for the fact that Shekinah points out things that are true. They're just none of her business.
Fair. It's fair. They're all in the car. Ziad again is being encouraging and tells Guillermo that he's really happy for the two of them, and glad that they were able to share a sexy moment. And then Guillermo does this whole thing again. You guys, I tend to like wonder when, and it's not just men, because women can do it too, but give mixed signals. So you're at the club, you're like, come here but go away, come here but go away. I kiss your hand, but I don't want to kiss you. I kiss your cheek, but I don't want to kiss you. Then I kiss you, and then I pull away. And then, but in the rideshare home, you're showing what turns you on, and he's doing like a whole, hold her arms and like do the whole explore her body thing. And I was like, you obviously still love her, but to Abby's point, you want to punish her, and your need to punish her is outweighing your love for her. And that is like wild to me. It's wild to me.
It is. I think that he's not even meaning to give mixed signals. I think that he just doesn't know how to deal with his own feelings. He loves her. He feels something for her, even if it's just some sexual desire. But he's not allowing himself to experience it fully because he keeps getting hit by but girls, but women who show their bodies are not full humans. They're not entitled to humanity, and
Right.
this Madonna thing that he's got going on. He's not I really don't think that because this thing he does in the car, in the van, is really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that he means to give mixed signals. He's feeling it in that moment. And then they get back to the place and he remembers other people saw her body.
So Olivia's making some good points. She says he wanted her to choose him over the money that she gets from content, and his ego is bruised, and that's it. And I do say it oftentimes, you guys. Well, not oftentimes, I say it a lot. Men have very fragile egos. So you're not wrong, Olivia. You're not wrong at all. They get back to the castle, and Guillermo does go back to Kara's room, and he admits that he enjoyed the kiss. She tells him, and she's always encouraging him. That's the whole thing. She's always so kind and encouraging. Even when he's so terrible to her, she still gives kind words. So she tells him, I'm still attracted to you. I'm attracted to you. And he's like, I know. And she's like, so what do you want to do? He's like, what do you want? She's like, well, I have a bed, I have a couch, I have a chair. She's trying to still keep it like sexy and fun. And he decides, nah. He looks at her, remembers that he's trying to punish her. So he shakes her hand after they just shared a passionate kiss, after he just did a whole exploratory thing in the rideshare. He shakes her hand, gets up, and leaves and says, thank you. Now, if that's not manipulation, I don't know what is.
What a sad ending.
Very sad ending. He tells the viewers that it reminded him of the past, and what he doesn't want to do is he feels that sex could complicate things and he doesn't want to ruin the progress. And this is where I got confused because what progress have you made? We are on episode what, 5, 6? We're on episode 6. What progress have you made? Because all I've seen so far is you punishing her reaching out to you and you regressing, her reaching out to you and you telling her how terrible she is, her reaching out to you and you just being ice cold. You did have a moment today where you showed how obviously you still love her, but again, your need to punish her seems to override all of that. So if you don't want it to work out, then you guys should just part ways and start to co-parent and leave it at that. Let her heal and live her life, and you do the same. What do you think, Abby?
That's what I think too. I agree to that. I think Kara did come here to give it a good try. I do not think that he came to give it a good try. So just go ahead and amicably decide how you're going to move forward. And this didn't work out, unfortunately. And maybe in the future, he can redefine what masculinity is for him and they can give it another go. I mean, they wouldn't be the first people to split up and get remarried again. But right now, it's not working out. And just leave it as amicable as possible because you still have to be around each other. You have a kid together.
That's right. Patrick and Thais get back to their room. He tells her he's proud that she stuck up for him. And then we have a whole moment where she feels nauseous and gets sick. He is freaking out because he's thinking what everyone could be thinking right now. And he goes after her to see like what's really going on, and they leave it at that. It's the next day. Rebecca and Ziad open up the day. They ordered a full English breakfast, and you know that means bangers and beans and some blood pudding. And I thought it was funny because someone, I can't remember if it was Ziad or Rebecca, but someone said nope, and I said anything about English cuisine, I mean, you either love it or you don't love it. So the couples get a note from the therapist, and they're going to be going on an overnight excursion that involves physical activities. And so they need to bring warm clothes and pack for overnight. We find out that Thais in the morning is feeling better. She's hoping that it's not what we all think it is. So she's going to ignore it and keep it pushing. We head over to Shekinah. Shekinah doesn't want to see anyone. She feels that everyone hates them. And here's the thing, Shekinah, even if you feel that way, there's a way to just rectify this whole situation. Take responsibility for your actions and your words and apologize. And then go ahead and listen to the feedback, Russ, that people have from the things that you do and say. That's it. You don't have to you don't have to turn everyone into a villain that everyone's against you. I heard what you said, that this reminds you of all the jobs you've had where you get into fights with people. Well, then maybe you need to take a step back and figure out what the common denominator is, and perhaps not be so negative and ready to fight, and instead be open-minded and willing to hear people out.
Right. But, and I forgot to mention when we first talked about the situation with Shekinah and Thais that she already had this weird energy toward Thais with the whole Instagram situation. So it's pretty, for me, I feel like she's upset that Thais won't be her friend.
And it could be as simple as that. It really could be as simple as that. Sarper is sticking up for Shekinah and says, you know, Thais was the one that became aggressive. But again, not holding his wife responsible directly to her, but to the audience, says that Shekinah shouldn't have said what she said and that she's more stubborn than smart. So, I mean, he's backing her up. He's just not backing her up to her face. She does, however, feel supported by him because he is standing by his woman. So they get ready to go on this outdoor adventure. Sarper and Shekinah are riding with Rebecca, Ziad, Russ, and Peo. And everyone's sick of Shekinah. And I thought that this would have been a perfect opportunity for her to start apologizing and listening to what people had to say. But, she didn't. She had a sourpuss face.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca said that she needs to be kicked in the butt. And one of the things that I've said, that even though we've talked about it here, about perhaps maybe she's ignorant or who she's surrounding herself by, but at the end of the day, the couples in that vehicle also said that they don't think it's the first time that Shekinah has said something like this, and I agree with them. It's not the first time that it flew out of her mouth, because it flew out too easily and too quickly. And the fact that she's not embarrassed by what she said, she doesn't feel bad by what she said, and she's feeling victimized, and now everyone is evil except for her, tells me everything I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the two vans arrive in the wilderness, and Shekinah, because she's on the defensive, and part of this is like that mean girl mentality, but she, I forgot, you guys, remember she kind of grew up in a compound, like her family was one of those like doomsday type families, so she is used to the wilderness, she's experienced in the wilderness, and so she says that she's just going to sit back and watch the train wreck crash and burn. Which I just thought was really mean of her, because this could be an opportunity for her to stand up and be a leader in the group, because she has all the training and she knows what she's doing, and it could be a bonding exercise for all of them. They can see that it's not just mean girl behavior, but she's a well-rounded person. Again, that's just my opinion. So welcome to Wilderness Therapy. My question of the day for the live chat, the replay, and for Abby: are you a wilderness person? Do you like camping and hiking and all of that stuff? Let us know in the live chat. Let us know if you're watching the replay. Abby, what are you? Where do you fall with that?
I don't want to camp. I want to go to the beach for a day, or like to the lake for a day. I do not want to stay outside at night. I'm not interested. I don't want to be in community with bugs.
Okay. I'm absolutely, I will glamp, meaning I'll have to be in a cabin with running water and heat and a working toilet and all of that stuff. But if it's outside in the nature, I'm good on that. I will not be sleeping on the ground in a tent and peeing in the wilderness.
Yeah, I did when I went to Panama. I went to the San Blas Islands where the Cunayala are, and that was the last time I had any kind of camping experience, because like we only had rainwater showers. Do you know what it's like to have sand all over your body and all you have access to is a rainwater shower?
Yeah, I do. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So yeah, let us know. But they're gonna be outdoors, and part of this wilderness therapy is communication, and how the outdoor allows you to change the way you're used to communicating with each other. So you not only have to communicate with each other, but you have to communicate with the elements. And it's just like traveling. One of the things that we probably can add to our list of before you get in a serious relationship is you should go and travel with that person, because that person will
Yes.
show you exactly who they are, and you need to know if you like that or if you don't like that. Silver Lining, hey girl, hey, says, I like hiking and I will camp in a tent, but at a site with facilities.
Reasonable.
That's reasonable for you. It's reasonable. So purpose of this wilderness therapy is to communicate with each other and with the elements, on find ways to just communicate with not only your partner, but with your team, right? So there's a lot going on here. There are a lot of layers to this. We meet some Nick guy who's some, I don't know, he's some wilderness expert. And the goal, he says, is to find a way to the top of the query. And then you got to go to base camp. So you got a lot of stuff to do. They're all going to get a backpack. Their backpack has their name on it. They didn't know that all the stuff that they packed from the castle, they're not going to be able to take with them. They can only take their essentials. So pull out your essentials from what you packed, put it in this backpack for what you can carry, and that's what you're going to do. Which I would have. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I packed it, it means I need it. So they get that. And then there's a special item. So this is the second question of the day. There's a special items section where you get to pick a specialty item. You can either pick bread, wet wipes, a vibrator and lube, or a personal toilet. And there's other things like peanut butter, lighter, etc., etc. What would you have chosen, Abby?
Either the wet wipes or the peanut butter. Because, like, this is a little personal, but it happens to a lot of us that have kids. Your girl has hemorrhoids. And it is horrible if you don't clean up properly. It will come back to bite you in like an hour, and then it's horrible. It's horrible to be crusty and unclean. And if you don't clean it right away, it just irritates you and irritates your skin. It's terrible.
Girl. I would have also chosen the wet wipes for a different reason, because I like to shower sometimes multiple times a day. So I don't know what I'm doing in a tent and there's no shower, because I'm not about to go in the lake that you guys all pee in. So I'm going to need some wet wipes to wipe myself down. You guys let me know what you would have chosen. Quick breakdown of what some of the cast members chose. Shekinah chose the peanut butter. Patrick chose the lighter. Jenny chose the bread. Rebecca wanted to choose the coffee, but Ziad wanted the power bank, which I thought was interesting. And Paola chose the toilet. The couples get broken up into 3 teams. So Shekinah and Sarper and Jenny and Sumit are team 1. And Russ and Paola and Cara and Guillermo are team 2. And Patrick and Thais and Rebecca and Ziad are team 3. And they are set loose with a compass and a dream. A compass and a dream. And off they go. Rebecca says wet wipes help with splashing too.
I think she's talking about having sexy time.
Yep, it's all good.
Yeah.
Everyone's choosing wet wipes. You know.
Yeah.
So the compass and the map to find their way. What they have to do is on the map, there is a colored out area. They have to figure out how to get to that position on the map. And in that map, then they find more items that they're going to need at the campsite. So they go ahead and, gather and forge, and off they go. Sumit thinks that Jenny and him and Jenny are going to be the worst. And I will tend to agree with that out of the 3 groups, teams, because they're not really like an active type of couple, right? So
they are very lazy people, and I appreciate that they know that about themselves.
Absolutely. What they all do realize, though, is in the end of all of this, they have to figure out how to strengthen their relationships. They have to, Russ, figure out how to strengthen their relationships. And if that means you're out in the wilderness or you're getting feedback, at the end of the day, you're figuring out how to strengthen your relationships. I mentioned this earlier, but this is where we really hear the breakdown of Shekinah. So Shekinah went to wilderness survival boarding school in Montana. If you know anything about Montana, if you watch any type of TV shows in Montana, that's the wilderness. So for her to be in a wilderness survival boarding school tells you that she knows how to survive. So she says she knows how to forage in the wilderness. She knows how to build fires. She knows how to build structures. And when I say that, she didn't say, I know how to build like a little small tent. She said structures. Because go back to wilderness survival boarding school. I bet you that Shekinah, you know, when we saw the preview for next week and she got the little wood twig as her knife to spread out the peanut butter, I'm telling you, she probably can get that same wood and build a whole cabin by hand. I bet you she could.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
When,
even before she went to that boarding school, her family was like living Amish lifestyle. So she's got all kinds of skills.
mm-hmm, absolutely. So they're talking about, you know, where they're going to use the restrooms because there's no restrooms. Cara gives a demonstration and basically twerk to dry. I laughed because that's hilarious. And off they go. We get to Shekinah and Jenny, that pairing, and Jenny tells Shekinah to her face what she said about that you should go back to your country was terrible and very hurtful. She's experienced it with Sumit's mom, and it's just a hurtful thing. And guess what? Guess what, Abby? Do you think Shekinah took responsibility in that moment?
Nope, just continually defensive.
Continually defensive. Sumit says to her, those words came out of your mouth, and so you can be mad at everyone else, but you're the villain here. Did she take responsibility when he said that, Abby?
No.
No. The two people that you think like you are telling you candidly to your face and not behind your back what you did was wrong. And they're saying it with no attitude, in loving tones, but just very directly, and you're not hearing them.
I mean, to this day, she still doesn't accept that she was wrong. She's still arguing about it on Instagram, so.
Terrible. It says a lot. Dear Russ, number one, I don't think that you saw the comment that I made on the post that you got mad at me about. And if you guys are just joining, here's the comment as I talk about it. He basically said, I'm a bitter spectator, yada, yada, yada. I did say that perhaps by the end of this season, you'll have some redeeming qualities. So there's that part. The second part here in today's episode, I say Russ is taking the lead in the wilderness. Everyone is nervous for Russ to do that because they want to make sure he makes the right choices. Cara and Guillermo think that Peo is going to be hard on him if he makes a mistake, and he will be hurt and she will start to complain. So they're nervous for Russ. And they're both nervous because they don't know when Paola is going to, quote unquote, lay into Russ. So take that feedback and maybe send them a message about what they said. Because that, again, is just feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Guillermo has a whole come to Jesus moment as Russ is leading and says in encouraging words that, you know, it's important to trust your partner even when you don't know where they're going. And I was like, if that is not calling the pot kettle black or whatever y'all say, I just think that that is wild. So you're huffing and puffing, you're punishing your wife. She's making all this money, even though she told you that's exactly what she was going to be doing and you agreed to it, but now you changed your mind, that whole thing. You don't know where this road is going to lead you. It might lead you to a bigger and better and badder life, but you're stuck in your pride and your ego. And that's unfortunate that you're not taking your own advice. What do you think, Abby?
I agree. I don't have anything to add, y'all. Linda is right again.
That is irony right there, because we don't agree on anything. So that's funny to me. That being said, Russ and Pale talk about how it was lovely to see the two of them, Cara and Guillermo, last night and being lovey dovey and the kiss and all of that. They wanted to know like what happened the next day or that night. And Guillermo just poo poos all over it. He's like, you know what? I felt it in my pants, but I regret it. Brings back memories and it makes it just confusing. And Cara's like, did you just say you regret kissing me? And he said, yeah. Yeah, I did. Because again, punishing, right? You want to take a great moment and make it ugly. He goes on to say, yeah, maybe my pants wanted more, but that doesn't remove you selling pictures online. Abby, they're just gonna have to part ways.
He's not even trying to get over it.
Not even trying. Cara, because she's the ultimate optimist, says, I get it. He's managing his fear of letting me back in. She always sees the positive things. I think that that's great about her. But I also think, too, that this guy is he's just going to continue to punish her. And how long can that go on before you just get sick of it? So she also recognizes that they're miles away from where they need to be to salvage the marriage. And again, I think, and I want to know what you guys think in the live chat. I want to know what you think, Abby. Is it too far gone? Can they salvage this marriage or they cannot? What are your thoughts, you guys? Abby, you go first.
It's completely on Guillermo. Wait a minute. Are we talking about Russ and Powell?
No, we're talking about Guillermo and Cara. Do you think they can salvage their marriage?
It could be done. It could be done, but it is completely on Guillermo. Does he want to talk about ways that he can support her so that she doesn't feel like a single parent who is forced to come up with all the income on her own? Will he support her music career? Because remember, one thing that we got away from was the fact that she felt unsupported, not just as a single parent, but also in pursuit of her dreams. Can he support her in that? Can he do things around the house that are also going to be non-financial, but also supportive? Because she said that was a feeling she had before, that she was doing everything to take care of the home. So if he's willing to make those changes along with getting a job and getting over the fact that she has made suggestive content, then it's possible. She's willing to make it possible. But that is such a huge gulf between what he's shown us he's capable of and where he needs to be. It's a huge gulf between those two things.
Agreed with you guys. Agreed. An important point that I thought that was brought up was, so Jenny and Sumit are talking to Shekinah and Sarper just about relationships and this type of thing. Jenny's like, I don't really do this stuff in India. I don't get out. I don't get to make friends. Jenny, I mean, just because you live at his parents' house doesn't mean you can't get out of the house and explore the city that you live in and the beauty of it all and start to make friends. Like, I don't buy that for 1 minute. I think that anyone that travels by themselves, anyone that has moved to a new country to be with a significant other, or just to move on their own, that you can start anew and you can start anew by yourself. So living at his parents' house is not stopping you from making friends. I don't agree with that at all. And not getting out, that's on you again. walking in your neighborhood, even if it's a free activity, you can get out. But that being said, the point that they brought up about cultural differences, I thought would be a really interesting topic to talk about, where Abby and I have talked about this. In many parts of the country, multi-generational families, which I do support, live in one home, and they support each other. Nana babysits the kids, and the the parents help buy the house, and so the next generation has a home that goes from generation to generation to generation. It's the family house. Um, but she kind of brought up how Americans, you guys, and this is just from what I've been seeing, and so I could be wrong and you can educate me, but as Americans, you guys grow up in like 18 is the ideal star age, where she says, you get kind of pushed out of the house to be on your own. You're an adult now. And it's such a culturally different way to grow up. Do you think that that's true for Americans, Abby? And if not, why?
I think it's true for a lot of people. Obviously, there are some exceptions. And like, for me, my parents didn't have any problem with me moving back home after I graduated college for some time. But I think that the issue is it's a lot of financial. A lot of parents can't afford for their children to stay home because they have so many kids that need to get out. You need to get out and launch, and we need the space for the other kids who are behind you. Like, I don't think that people really understand that a lot of Americans are not in a very good economic situation. So, and it's more common here for when you go to college to live on your college campus than it is to stay home. Like when I was in Mexico, it was really surprising for me, but also like really good that a lot of the students that I was teaching lived at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no general like on-campus housing for the kids. Um, you just come from home and come to school and then you go back home. Like that's a lot more normal. And I do think that it's healthy in a lot of ways. But it's hard for us to understand not just not having your own place or not seeking your own place, but like the dependency between the parents and children is a little bit difficult for us to understand as well.
Mm-hmm. So it's a really fascinating topic that we should discuss further in detail one day. To wrap it up, just like Abby just said, one of the things that Submit is admitting to is that they can't afford to move out. And he's been keeping a financial secret from Jenny. And we are about to find out in the next episode. That being said, you guys, that is this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe. Head over to our personal Instagrams if you want to see all things travel and food and fashion and beauty and red carpets and celebrities, all the stuff. Follow us there as well. And we will see you soon.
Bye bye. Ta ta for now.